AccountEdge New Company File. New Company File Creation Introduction. In AccountEdge and AccountEdge Basic, all transactions are stored in a company file. All sales, purchases, disbursements, receipts, inventory, and payroll information, all transactions are stored in a company file. We could have more than one company file, and each file would contain the transactions of a different company. When we create a new company file, we'll need to answer some questions about the company, nature of business, and tax information. It's better to be prepared and have this information at our disposal when we create our new company file. So here's an overview of what's necessary. We'll need to know the fiscal year we want to start the file with. That's probably the current fiscal year. And we need to know the last month of the fiscal year. We also need to know the conversion month. The conversion month is the earliest month that we can record new transactions. So if we set June as the conversion month, we can enter new transactions dated June 1 and beyond. We cannot enter new transactions before June 1st. This will not preclude us from entering historical sales and purchases, however. Historical sales, which are entered into the company file from the Easy Setup Assistant of the Setup drop-down menu, represent sales where payments haven't yet been received, but have already been posted to the appropriate income accounts. After we enter historical sales, we will need to set the opening balances of the accounts receivable account to the value of the historical sales. If we enter $10,000 of historical sales, we would need to set the opening balance of the accounts receivable account to $10,000. This way, when the payments are received, AccountEdge will decrement the accounts receivable account, posting the payment to the receipts account. Historical purchases, which are also entered from the Easy Setup Assistant, represent purchases where payments haven't been made, but have already been posted to the appropriate expense or cost of goods sales account. Similar to what we did with historical sales, we'll need to set the opening balance of the accounts payable account to match the value of our historical purchases. If our company had been in operation before we created our AccountEdge file, and we didn't otherwise have a record of the postings to our profit and loss accounts of income, cost of goods sold, and expenses, we may need to set the opening balances of these P&L accounts. Setting opening balances in the profit and loss accounts is sometimes done to reflect values of historical sales and purchases. It will also allow us to report the activity of the entire year from our AccountEdge file, even though some transactions were done before we created our company file. If we need to set the opening balances of the P&L accounts, we must make sure the conversion month is not the first month of the fiscal year. If the last month of the fiscal year is December, then the first month is January. If we start our company file in June, June would be the conversion month, and we would be able to enter opening balances for the profit and loss accounts that reflect the historical sales and purchases, and the corresponding values in our accounts receivable and payable accounts. New transactions would be entered June 1 and beyond. When creating a new company file in AccountEdge, we will also need to know whether we're going to use a 12 or 13-month accounting period. The 13th period is a period for recording entries that we do not want to include in the accounting figures for a particular month. For example, we can use it to record year-end adjustments that are attributed to all months. If in doubt, we will choose the 13 periods. This feature is not available in AccountEdge Basic. Finally, we'll need to know our employer ID information if we're doing payroll. Having this information, let's get started.